Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. So just backtrack a bit. So about a year ago, a group of us formed a new association, SARA, Canadian Emergency Responders Robotics Association. So the primary reason for that is there are other groups out there that focus on drones or robotic systems, but none was specifically focused on emergency services. And that's what we did. So in the last year, we have about 350 members right now. It's free to join. Our only criteria is that you have to be either currently or have experience in fire, police, EMS, military, or be one of the sort of related government agencies, NAV Canada, Transport Canada. And the reason for that is just it's a different focus, it's a different mindset, and we just want to focus on how these systems are applied in these situations. A bit of quick background on me. So 30 years in law enforcement. I started in drones in 2009. So when I started, we were the third agency in North America to be licensed to fly drones, and there was nobody out there to help and ask. There's a whole bunch of, as everyone here knows, there's a whole bunch of systems and organizations, and as much as it might seem like things are still in the infancy stages, it's taken a long time to get here. And there are a lot of resources now. I was a team lead for our CBRNE group, so spent a lot of time with detectors and bomb robots. I was also the team lead for our ground search unit. So basically, anytime anybody who went missing for whatever reason, just forming those teams to go out and look for them. So our philosophy is obviously start remote and stay remote. I know you guys are talking about the hand detectors, and I think most people here are probably with the fire service. So everybody knows how many changes have come in the fire service, and most of the changes usually come to protect the individual, the person on scene. If you're talking about hand detectors, chemical detectors, or rad detectors, it's all to hopefully avoid that human operator from getting into a situation that they can't get out of. And the use of robots and now drones is really just an extension of that. It lets you go to places that you can't go, or it's too hazardous to go, collapse buildings. Obviously, you don't want to put somebody in danger, so drones would let you get in there to monitor scenes from elevations that you can't get to. Just a lot of advantages to them. There are a ton of systems out there. When we started in 2009, there was really only 2 systems in North America, and both those systems are pretty much non-existent right now. Right now, I think in the world, there's probably 400 plus manufacturers. As I mentioned, we were the third agency in North America to be federally licensed to operate. There was only 3 drone systems in all of Canada then, and currently in 2021, I don't know if anybody has a final count, but I guarantee I have 400 plus systems that I know of, and I guarantee it's probably closer to 500 and increasing all the time. Most people, and I know everybody in the emergency services knows where I'm coming from on this. Most departments look for the one-stop solution. They look for that one system that's going to do everything, and drones are no exception. Seen a lot of departments that buy one system thinking it's going to do a bunch of things. In many cases, that's true, but it also can cause some problems. Some of the systems out now, like the big DJI M300 or the M600, they're phenomenal systems. They're big, lots of capability, can survive high winds, but you're not going to be using them to go inside a building. Likewise, there's some of the new, the smaller drones, the Mavic Mini, which is the one on the white one on the right. It's below 250 grams, so it's sort of outside a lot of the regulations. So it's really good for getting in close to things. $600, it's pretty much disposable if you get into trouble. And then some of the other systems, some of the new tactical drones that are coming out have the ability to break glass or go underneath vehicles. There's a whole bunch of capabilities, but the big pitfall most agencies find themselves in is trying to find one system that will do everything. The capabilities have definitely increased. 10 years ago, to get a 15-minute battery life was pretty much standard. Now it's not uncommon to be in the 40+ minute range. I've seen some propane powered system that will last over 2 hours. There's tethered systems which will last indefinitely. Some of the systems are now capable of breaking glass. The one on the top is the Brink Lemur out of the States, and it has a little wheel that spins at the front, about 20,000 RPM, capable of breaking glass. I was a little skeptical of it because I've seen a lot of ground robot systems that say they're capable of breaking glass, and it's not as easy as it looks. But I've seen some demonstrations, and it looks like it is fully capable of breaking glass. Adding systems like thermal imaging is a big one. Some of the new systems now, like the DJI M300, you can carry multiple payloads. The one on the bottom, the big 4-rotor one, so you can carry spotlights, speakers, multiple cameras, high power zoom cameras, chemical detection. There's just a ton of capabilities, and some of the smaller systems have that ability as well.
Andy, can you just check? I guess some people are waiting to be let in. I think you have to let them in.
Oh.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's good.
Have to be in charge, you know?
Yeah.
Need more pay. The cameras are incredible. Like I said, 10 years ago, we were happy to get a 4 megabyte camera, and that was basically a GoPro attached to a system. This is one of the newest ones from DJI. It's the H20T. So now you take a high powered zoom, you take a high resolution thermal, laser rangefinder. It's basically all in one camera. So now one camera payload will have all those capabilities. You can record simultaneously. So if you're recording on the zoom camera and you go back to review the footage afterwards, all that thermal capability is there as well. So I'm just going to
Said elevator music.
One of the, yeah, no, I didn't pick the music. One of the interesting capabilities is most people are familiar with a lot of the hand thermal imaging, and as good as they are, sometimes the limitation is that you can't always understand what it is you're looking at if it's strictly a thermal image. One of the new capabilities out of FLIR that I know is applied to the aerial systems, I don't know if it necessarily applies to some of the ground-based systems, is MSX, multispectral imaging, and it takes the visual image and the thermal images and overlaps them. So the advantage is if you have a lower quality thermal, you can now recognize items, because in this one you can see like a bookcase or a fireplace or a shelf. You can see the definition behind it. You can also read labels. So if there was a tank or something like that, you're not only getting the thermal signature, you can read the label on it, whether it's a hazmat label or whatever it is. So I'm just going to, hopefully this video plays and it'll explain a little bit about what this capability is.
I'm not sure if this video is actually playing. It's not playing on my screen.
Okay, I'll pause it. That's the challenge. One of the other benefits that is rapidly evolving, well, I should back it up a bit. One of the main reasons these systems themselves are evolving, back in the bomb robot field, the bomb robots we use haven't really changed much in 10 years because they're expensive, and they're expensive because they fill a very small niche. These systems, as you know, are so widespread. There's so many applications. So as a result, a lot of the technology out there is moving very quickly, and it's also available at a very cost effective. So these kind of systems, example of is the mapping. This was I think 9 townhomes that had burned down. So to overfly the area, take those images, and then overlay that image on an existing Google map so you can see what the surrounding area is. The ability to do terrain modeling. So that's that same issue. And now you see the difference in elevation. So the red in this case would be the rooftops, the high point. The blue would be the low points. So if you're doing a quick recce of a scene and you want to see which way a liquid is going to run or a dense gas is going to run, that might give you a good indication of where the event's going to be going. And the ability to do 3D rendering. It won't really show up on this just because of the program, but to be able to fly around a house and do a 3D map and be able to manipulate it so you can see what would be around the corner. Or if this was a rail car, for example, at a scene, you could do a 3D rendering of that rail car and be able to manipulate it as you're planning. Sorry, just gotta let some people in here. To plan what maybe your next steps are. LiDAR is another technology. This has only recently been applied to the aerial systems. Some of the expensive LiDAR, LiDAR is basically a laser system. The limitations of the visual camera and the thermal camera is you won't be able to penetrate a canopy like a tree canopy or other obstacles like that. Using laser, that's now an option. So you now have the ability to penetrate those kind of surfaces. And the difference in cost, a high-end LiDAR system, especially for airborne, say around 100,000. This is a new one from DJI. The price is around 26,000. So it's not quite the same capability as some of the higher end systems, but for emergency services, much more affordable, and it gives you that same ability to use that technology.
Andy, going back to LiDAR really quick before hopefully this video plays, it's a really good video. Do you see, or what do you see as first responder uses for LiDAR? Because it's obviously extremely powerful, like being able to penetrate canopy and getting, terrain modeling. Have you seen any use cases in the public safety sector, or is there anything you know of?
I don't know necessarily for fire services. That's just because I'm not familiar with how that would be integrated there. I know in the law enforcement side to look for clandestine graves or even just general mapping. I'm sure there's applications for this, depending on where you are. I mean, these systems can be used for pre-event planning. If you know an area that's potentially going to be a challenge, if something were to go wrong, if you have this kind of information available beforehand, I could see that being an advantage. The short answer is I'm not really sure.
But yeah, like the terrain modeling for access or possibly floodplains or hazmat, like leaks and spills and stuff like that, I guess you're saying, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just sort of speculating. I know the incident in Florida where they have that chemical reservoir that they're worried about leaking. I could see terrain modeling be huge application for that, and probably LiDAR.
Yeah,
this would give you a highly accurate terrain map. So I think this I'll kind of set up this video because it'll play as soon as I flip forward. So this was a call the OPP did just a couple months ago. It was an ice rescue. A gentleman had fallen through the ice, was in real danger. Somebody, I don't know if it was a friend or a passerby, called police. So you can hear the 911 dispatcher. They dispatched, it's a Mavic 2 Enterprise, so it's sort of a mid-range drone, and it has the spotlight feature on it. So you'll see what happens when he was able to light up the area. And one of the benefits is when they spoke to the victim afterwards, he was really close to passing away. And he said, even though the drone couldn't physically touch him, just knowing it was there and seeing the light, he knew help was on the way. So it had a very dramatic psychological effect on him. So hopefully this video plays. Let me know if not.
I don't know why these videos are so bad at playing on Zoom. It's it doesn't play.
Yeah, it worked last time we did it, just, I don't know. If it pauses too much, I'll,
Can you see it, Rick
I'll just
or
like-
Adam? Anybody? No, it doesn't. It's on the main screen. I don't know why. It's weird.
I wonder if the record is
It's not
doing any interference on it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's too bad. It's really good video. Yeah, someone else just said no video either. I don't know why. Bizarre. Sorry,
What's your
Andy.
web connection
Uh,
like out there, Andy? You got pretty good internet connection out there?
yeah, we just used this on a webinar.
Yeah.
And we
Don't let go of that rope. Do not let go of that
still
rope.
nothing?
No.
But if you turn your record off, Andy,
Yeah, pause the recording. Maybe I don't know.
I wonder if it's interfering.
Maybe it's like protecting proprietary stuff.